If you suffer from inconsistent contact with the golf ball, then the information in this video may not just improve your golf game, it may improve your life. I would define consistent contact as the ability to hit the center of the club face and the ability to hit the ball first and the ground second. That's defined as fundamental number one in the stack and tilt template in terms of controlling the low point of the swing. And when you look at the most skilled golfers on the planet, they control the low point of their swing with almost 100% accuracy. They swing down towards the ball, they strike the ball first, and then they strike the ground second. Let me quickly explain where the low point of the swing is located and how you can learn to manage it more efficiently. The lead shoulder is the center of the swing, with the lead arm and the shaft forming the radius. So underneath the center point, underneath this lead shoulder, is the lowest point of the swing arc. Now, when we hit the ball from the ground, we put the ball behind the center and we create this angled radius to the ground. Now, built into the basis that the bottom of the swing here is a circle or an arc, this club head has some down built into it, some descent. It's going to keep swinging down until the point where the club is underneath the lead shoulder. Once it reaches that point, it's going to start moving upwards. So learning to put the lead shoulder in the correct point at the start of the swing is a big part of understanding how to control the low point. What the poorest golfers do when they swing back is they move this lead shoulder further behind the golf ball. Now the bottom of the swing has moved. It's moved all the way back behind the golf ball. And unless you do something significant to rectify that problem, you are going to swing down, hit the ground before the ball, or miss the ground completely and find that your club is ascending as it reaches the golf ball. That's the golfer who hits the ground before the ball, then they top the ball, then they hit the ground before the ball, then they miss the ball, and you think you've got a whole host of problems. You really haven't. You've got one problem. You're not controlling where the lowest point of the swing is happening. So in order to ensure that the low point of your swing is always after the ball, you should implement the following changes. From a standard setup, I want you to push your weight forward as much as you can with your hips. So now as I'm set up here, I've got nearly 100% of my weight on my front foot. And as I swing back, I'm going to use my left hip as the point which I turn around. It's like the bolt or the pivot point. There's going to be no shifting back, there's going to be no weight transfer. I'm going to start with almost all of my weight on the front, and then I'm going to turn my hips around that front point. And in doing so, I'm going to be able to keep the low point of my swing more forward throughout the entire swing, limiting the chances of me ever having the low point of the swing behind the ball. The other significant advantage to swinging this way is that when you have the pivot point more forward and you turn your hips around that front point, you also encourage the hands and the club to swing more around you. And swinging more around you helps you to hit those lovely draw shots and not those horrible slices. So we're going to set up, put all of the weight on the front, practice turning around that front point, and then go ahead and hit one. Such a nice contact. It's really strange for me to think that people would think the golf swing works in any other way, particularly the shifting off the ball method that has been prescribed for so many years, and yet that has left golfers floundering and struggling with poor low point control. This version of the swing I'm describing is mechanically the most sound in terms of controlling the low point and puts the least amount of stress on the joints, as we're actively encouraging the knees to change flex and the hips to turn the most. You'll easily get more rotation and more turn in your backswing than you're currently getting if you implement this technique. That one was even better. There's no need to shift your weight. There's such a logic to swinging this way. If you think about the way that chipping is taught, when you learn to chip, you set up next to the ball, smaller stance, you have the weight on the front. And the reason that they teach you to put the weight on the front is to have the center of the swing in front of the ball, to have this angled radius and to teach you to just be able to hit down gently on the golf ball. Make good contact, ball first, grass second, watch the ball pop up in the air, and then run along the green. At some point, somebody decided that you need to shift your weight to create power. That couldn't be any further from the truth. The real power in the stroke comes from swinging the club and the arms around you. So if you're struggling to make good contact, next time you're at the range, set yourself up, put all that weight on the front, make sure that lead shoulder is out in front of the ball, keep the angled radius or the hand slightly in front of the golf ball, and then turn around that front leg. Let your hips turn, let the club and the hands swing around you, and watch that ball fly. I hit it so good, and it actually feels like it's coming off the face faster than my normal 8-iron swing. Placing all your weight forward and hitting a golf ball like this has been met with lots of resistance in the golf instruction world. But I promise you it works, and you don't even need to believe me. The proof of the pudding is whether or not it works for you. So if you're interested in hitting the ball better, go and try 100% weight forward, turning around that front point, using the pelvis as a wrench, turning around that front point, hands forward, weight forward, and watch your ball striking improve. I know with 100% certainty that 100% weight forward drill is going to be an absolute game changer for some of you. If you try it and you like it, please get down into the comments and let me know your experience. If you enjoyed the video today and found it informative, please consider hitting that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe as well. If you'd like to learn more about Stack and Tilt Golf, I'll put a link to the website in the description. And if you want to find me on other social platforms, I'll put those links in the description as well. And if you're interested in taking some lessons with me directly, you can find me on the Skillist app. Skillist connects golfers and coaches wherever they are in the world. I'll put the link in the description. I look forward to seeing you over there. In this video, I mentioned the fact that to improve your chipping, you need to keep your weight forward. If you'd like to learn how to hit a low, mid, and high flighted shot from around the green, go and check out this video next, which will help you to do just that.